Welcome back to the Low-Key Air Gunner YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm going to shoot my Qb78, Canadian detuned to 495 FPS. Let's put a little bit of Palestol on it, because it has been a while since I've used it, and I want to prevent this beauty from rusting. I always start with some good old paper towels and finish with some microfiber. The Beeman Qb78 Co2 is a dual cartridge rifle. I always put a little bit of pellet gun oil on my cartridge and seals before I use it. The first cartridge is going neck first and is going to be pierced by the valve. If you want to use only one cartridge, I believe most people recommend using the full one first. But if you do use two cartridges, the second one is going to get pierced by this cap. There is a lot of threads and it is not always easy when slippery to screw in, but you're gonna get there. Over tightening will not do any good because you most likely will not hear any hissing before you start unscrewing it to move the piercing pin from the top of the cartridge. You do not need to back it off a lot and the pressure will lock it in place anyway. Then it is time to pierce the first cartridge by cocking it and firing it. It's alright. This is a dry fire, but CO2 rifles and pistols can be dry fired without risking too much damage, which is a good thing because you will see in part 2 one thing that I don't like about it. Now that we got some power, let's put a little bit of oil on this breech O-ring to make sure we get a good seal and to oil the bolt a little bit. While I was waiting for this to warm up, I unpacked a nice tin of 7.4 grains Crosman pointed pellets. Those are cheaper side pellets and will be perfect to test in this affordable CO2 rifle from 20 yards. But I'm going to test some JSB pellets in it too, so stick around for that. The CO2 gas had a little bit more than 10 minutes to warm up. I will be taking 3 shots with 7.4 grain pellets. So we got an average of 479 feet per second with a spread of 3, which is not bad at all. For those who have trust issues, this was 60 feet / 20 yards. There was quite a bit of wind, but the trees and the audio will tell you that, I guess. This video is going to be in 2 parts. In the first part, I'm going to shoot some Crosman pointed, some JSB RS and Express, and in the second part, I'm going to do some plinking and talk a bit about shot count and stuff like this. So, subscribe if you don't want to miss part 2. This was not perfect weather, but winter is coming soon, so we can't be too picky. I guess one day I will need a level kit with the torque wrench because my scope doesn't look perfectly straight, but it will be good enough for what we want to do in the backyard. So now, let's get to it with Crosman pointed 7.4 grains. Keep in mind, detuned air rifles are usually used for 10-meter shooting, and this is 20 yards, and there is a lot of wind. This is a trick that my grandfather taught me. If you want to know which way is the wind, suck your finger and throw it in the air, and if it's cold, it's this way. Take note, this trick is not approved by California State. At least when you're playing with lead, just before. This is my way of saying I think that was 10 shots. I believe it was. I might have to count it again because I want to talk about shot counts on a detuned version. But all I have to say about the 10 first shots is that's not really it. So let's put a little bit of zoom to see if that will help me or the pellets to perform better, which is not really making sense, but let's see a 5-shot group with more zoom, aka I will write on the screen which zoom it was because I don't remember at the moment.
6 times magnification.
I would say this is not a bad start. I'm not sure what that was. At this point, I'm clueless. I don't know, maybe too much wind because the tube was not getting cold, I was not shooting too fast, and that's not great, but still better. Now I will take another 10 shot groups at 6 times zoom to see if it did matter or if the rifle only needed to be warmed up, or maybe it was me too. I don't know who to blame. I'm not the best shooter in the world too. I will never claim to be, which can be a good thing. I'm showing regular results from regular people on a regular channel, so subscribe for more if you want to be a regular viewer. I would like to say this one was caused by the wind, but I'm not sure about that. Not that it is not windy, because the wind ruined a good part of the audio. The QB78 is very backyard friendly. Let's just say the wind is making more noise in my microphone than the QB78 in my backyard. We are getting a little bit of spread, but it is still not that bad for budget-friendly pellets on a bad day. I believe that was 10. I will have to count later in this editing process. But now it's time to shoot some JSB RS and Express. By the way, a dollar store tackle box makes a nice pellet sampler. Good thing I've checked the focus before starting the video. The QB78 is one of my favorite air guns, but I use it less because it is a CO2, which make it not my favorite air gun, but I still like it a lot. It is a very fun bolt action. I call it my Crosman PCP. If you don't like cranking your brake barrels, but you do like a single shot bolt action, this might be the perfect one for you. Are not doing too bad after 5 shots of the JSB RS 7.33. This one might have been my fault, who knows. So now, let's test the same thing at 9 times zoom. Yeah, 9 times zoom. The trigger is not great, but it's not bad. I believe it is adjustable, but you gotta take it out of the stock to do so, which is something I've never did. I did not even clean the barrel since I got it. Now I will be trying at 6 times zoom on this Tasco Rimfire 329x32mm. Let me know if more zoom is helping you or not, or if your cheap scope doesn't like to be adjusted. I don't know, tell me something in the comments down below. Yeah. It does look like the JSB RS 7.33 grains performed way better than the Crosman pointed 7.4 grains, but let's see if JSB Express 7.87 grain will perform better in this wind. 13 degrees Celsius or about 55 degrees Fahrenheit is not the best temperature for CO2, but I know there's still plenty left in there, and it did not seem to matter that much. The second shot was pretty much a hole in hole. Maybe this one was my fault. I explained right there that I tend to pull to the right when I pull the trigger. So blame who you want. This gun is perfect. I'm not. So it was my fault. Damn, JSB Express 7.87 grain seems to be the best shooting pellets I've tried in it yet. The previous group was at 6 times magnification. This one will be at 9 times magnification. I don't know if it really matters, but I think most of my groups with 9 times magnification are a bit to the right. The next group will be at only 3 times magnification, but the wind was pretty messy and my target started to move, so I don't think we can get any conclusions from that. This is what I was talking about. And this is something I'd rather not talk about. Overall, the Qb78 did pretty good. It seemed to favor the JSB RS 7.87 grain. Next week, in part 2 of this video, I will be shooting at this Humarex multi-shot target with my Qb78 to try and figure out how many shots I can get with 2 CO2 cartridge, and maybe do a little target analysis if someone is interested in measurements and stuff like that. But that was enough for today. Thanks for watching the Low-Key Air Gunner YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to help my channel grow and make this effort worth it. I'll see y'all in the next one.